Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Igor Telyatnikov. He's the CEO of AlphaPoint. We're going to take a look at competition is growing in the crypto space, and that's a good thing. It's great to have you back with us, Igor, and what a difference a year makes with Bitcoin. It seems like, crypto is back.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me back on. So in the last year, it's been interesting what's happened in the crypto marketplace. I think the last time I was on was about a year ago, and since then the price of Bitcoin has tripled, and the market cap of the digital asset space and ecosystem has more than doubled.
All right, and you think it could be a safe haven for assets because it does kind of trade in step with the market. Yesterday, we had all-time highs. It was at February 19th, all-time highs in the market. We saw that move to the downside with Bitcoin, a little bit more flat today, but you can definitely see that correlation there at some point.
Absolutely. I think there's some correlation. There's some correlation to gold, but a big part of what's driving the price movement in Bitcoin is really institutional, adoption and growth, and big players coming into the space, and also the Bitcoin halving that's coming up.
Yes, tell us about that. That's May 13th or somewhere around there that takes place.
Yeah, between May 12th, May 13th, it's a certain block time. But essentially, what the halving is every 4 years, about every 4 years. The Bitcoin reward that's given to miners that really process transactions on the network splits in half. So instead of 12.5 Bitcoins every 10 minutes being rewarded to miners, it's going to be 6.25, which will ultimately decrease the supply that's available on the market.
So if you think about basic economics, if there's less supply and you still have the same amount of demand, that should mean the price of Bitcoin should move higher in theory.
Absolutely, and in previous years and previous halvings, we've seen a strong correlation with upward price movement on Bitcoin. And we expect that's being priced in now as well.
You think it's being priced in? Because I had a couple of guests on with me in January. They think that you could potentially see 30 to 35,000 in Bitcoin by the end of the year. Part of that due to the halving effect. That's a pretty big number from where we are now.
Absolutely. So look, it's not unprecedented, right? In 1 year, we've had from 3,000 last February to now it hit 10,000 back in about 2 weeks ago. So it's not unprecedented to get those types of numbers, but we're not speculators in the space.
Yeah. All right. So let's learn about your expansion of your global network. Tell us what's going on there.
Absolutely. So, what we've seen is a lot more brokerages coming into the space and launching local regulated exchanges for access to digital assets. And that's really our core business, is powering these types of marketplaces, exchanges, cryptocurrency exchanges, security token exchanges around the world, as well as brokerages. So recently, just on February 6th, Banix Coin launched an exchange in Peru. So one of the first to have sole, local currency to Bitcoin and other assets to be able to be traded there. And what we're seeing is a lot more regulators are getting on board. So the SPS in Peru is the bank regulator there is what issued that license. We also have customers that are getting licensed in Thailand by the Thailand SEC. CESA, which is based in the Philippines, is granting licenses to cryptocurrency exchanges.
And stablecoins are certainly making headway. In fact, I had QCAT on with me last week, so you're starting to see it really getting to, with China looking at a stable currency for itself. Our Federal Reserve Chairman had acknowledged that in his testimony last week as well. What about tokenization of assets? Do you think that's something that we're going to continue to see growth in?
100%. I think tokenization is the future. That's always been our belief. I think stablecoins is really what's hit the market and seen a lot of traction. Really removing friction from moving funds between exchanges and between counterparties. Reducing that settlement period from sometimes multiple days to 10 minutes or less. So QCAT is an example of a stablecoin. We also see real estate getting tokenized, elevated returns. One of our customers out of Thailand is getting their license to trade real estate tokenized assets. And you see other blockchains coming into place. That's actually going to be done on Tezos, and a partner, Securitize, is doing the actual tokenization.
All right, now to wrap up here, when you talk about competition within the cryptocurrency space, why do you find that encouraging?
We think it just shows that the market is evolving, right? It's no longer a small set of believers trying to promote the industry and kind of it's really moved beyond now that financial institutions are getting involved. It's taking market share as much a part of the play as growing the market itself.
Yeah, well, I think the underlying technology is certainly proving itself. For sure.
100%. We're going to see more assets get tokenized. The regulatory pieces are falling into place, and that's really removing a lot of the barriers.
All right, Igor, great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us at MarketSite. And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.